Yes, as I have explained what this mod is all about, you may ask yourself, what is assistive technology? Generally, assistive technology is any piece of item, equipment, program, software that enhance or maintain the functional capability of persons with disabilities. It is divided into three categories. One, low-tech assistive devices, mid-tech assistive devices, and high-tech assistive devices. When you talk about low-tech assistive devices, we look at those devices without serious technology involved in them. It could be from the time of manufacturing or using. A case in point, a long cane. There is no technology involved in a longer cane, but it's a mobility device. It helps a person to move from one place to another. For example, in the community, you can just cut a branch of tree and you start moving from one place to another. That becomes an assistive device, which is a low tech. A braille slate, there is no serious technology involved in it. The other type of assistive technology category is the mid-tech. These are devices with at least minimal technology involved in them. It could be at the time of using or manufacturing. For example, an audio recorder, a talking calculator, a Parkinson's braille. Those are devices. They have minimal technology involved in them. Then high-tech kind of devices, these are devices that are complex and have high advanced technology involved in them. As we shall be seeing, for you to use them, you must be skilled, trained to be able to use these high-tech devices. A case in point, computers, screen readers, braille embossers. So with that, let me take you through some of the high-tech devices that we have, and they are supporting persons with blindness. One is the braille embosser. As you can see, this is index braille embosser. But what is a braille embosser? A braille embosser is a device that helps us to print text into braille. So when you're printing, you have to know that the end result will be braille. And braille is a reading and writing mode for persons with blindness. A case in point, this is braille, as you can see, the dots. So a person who is visually impaired will be able to read using the index finger and understand what these dots are all about. So this machine is helping us to print braille out. How? Usually you must have a laptop, and this laptop should be installed with a software called DBT or Duxbury Braille Translator. When you have this laptop having that software, it means whether you know Braille or not, still you can do what? Print out this Braille. So don't get scared that I don't understand Braille. Your most important thing is you to be able to know how to use a laptop. So a case in point, I can show you, this is the DBT we are talking about. So this software, when you open it, it is able to give you a platform where you can type your work, and then you can translate it into the dots or braille dots. But before we go there, what do you need for you to print out the braille? You need an embosser, which we have. You need a laptop, and the laptop should be having a software. Let's get started. This machine has different parts. The first part is the switch on button. And it is interesting that even someone who is legally blind can use this machine because it has braille dots on it. For example, you can feel the dots. This is the word on, but it is in braille. Also, this machine has what we call the paper tray. And the paper tray is this button on the left side up. When you push it up, it will cause a depression where you get your braille paper and insert. When we insert our braille papers, we can push the button down and the papers are unlocked. So that's the first part when you want to print out braille. This machine has a cable. This cable connects the machine to the laptop such that they can communicate. So please, whenever you want to print, make sure the cable is inserted into the laptop. Also, you have to be aware that power is flowing because it has a power cable. So, assuming we have our exam that we need to braille, the question paper is here, but the student cannot see and read this. Meaning you as a personal assistant, you have to be having knowledge on how to use this device. And that's why we are here today. The first thing, you go to your laptop, open DBT. Remember, you don't know braille. So when you open DBT, make sure you maximize the interface. You go to File and press New. When you press New, it will give you the different styles. Is it English Braille? Is it American Braille? Is it Arabic Braille? So you have to know which Braille style are we using. For us, we use English Braille. So you have to select for English Braille. When you select for English Braille, with English Braille with no caps in literature, meaning there is no capital letters in the literature that you're going to make. So that is the format we use in our country, in Uganda. So this is the question paper. The first question is differentiate between the following terms. So your work is to type differentiate between the following terms. A, orientation and mobility. B, low vision and blindness. So these are our questions that we have. Your task now is to ensure that what you've typed here is correct. There is no errors in spelling because remember you don't know Braille. So from there you go to File command and say translate. When you say translate, you can see the dots are now translated. However, it is your work as a Braille producer to also edit. But remember, you don't know Braille. How would you edit these dots? You have to go down below. There is a mirror. There is a line in yellow. This line translates. Wherever the cursor you put, for example, on the first line, it will give you the word differentiate between the following terms. So here I'll be reading line per line, but you're reading Braille, which is being translated. So in case you find an error, you don't correct from here. Again, you have to go to File command and you say translate. Say yes, then it turns back into print. Then you correct whatever error you've seen here in print, and again go back to File command. You say translate and say yes, then it's translated. So from there, your work is to print out. Like any other printing job, you need to know which printer are you printing. Are you going to use to print? For example, how do we know that we are using this printer? You go to global, there is a command for global, and you go to embosser setup. When you go to embosser setup, you'll be able to see the printer name, and this is Index Everest D. So from there, you also have the opportunity to look and select the size of the paper. Are you using 11.0 times 11.5 inches, or you're using 12 by 12, or you're using A3, or you're using A4 extended? So in this case, we are using 11.0 by 11.5 inches. So after that, knowing the paper size, you also need to know characters per line. What do we mean by characters per line? For example, from my left to my right, how many characters are there in letters? So you need to know. But usually for 11.0 by 11.5 paper size, we select 40 characters. From there, you go to lines per page. Lines per page, we count from top to bottom of the paper. So how many lines? The standard lines are 25. So you select. Then top margin. We usually leave top margin to 0 because there is no need for us to create space at the top of the paper. So then you go to binding margin in characters. Binding margin is usually the space we leave from our left, such that someone binding this work has enough space to do so. So usually standard we put at 3. We have to leave 3 characters as binding margin. So after knowing that everything is set, you say okay. Then you go back to your page and press file or click on file, looking for the word emboss. Please don't go to print, because here we are embossing. Printing is our ordinary way of printing, but here when you are producing braille, we say emboss. So when you click on emboss, you have to know how many copies do you want. You have to select. For example, if you want 2 copies, you click there and then insert 2 copies. From there, you just say okay. The moment you say okay, your printer should be able to print. However, there are instances when your printer fails. You just have to know either the cables are not properly set, or you did not select the right printer. So we need to go back to document and get to know which printer are we sending to. So if it's the same, then you have to repeat the process. Emboss. So as you can see, our embosser is already there, giving us our outcome. So I commanded only 1 copy. That's why I have 1 copy of braille. So that's how we use this device to print out braille. Thank you.